taking a walk around to just talk a little bit about capacity. And when I'm talking to groups about capacity and we're talking about stress and what stress looks like and what happens when we're quote unquote always on. So stress isn't just like pull your hair out in traffic. Stress is nutrient deficiency. Stress is not drinking enough water. Stress is not getting enough sleep. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's always going to be that the first thing that's taken care of is your basic physiological needs, which are your water, your sleep, your food, and your safety. And all of the resources in your body when you're under that kind of stress go toward your basic needs. So that means learning, connecting, all those other things are not going to be what your body prioritizes. But here's the thing. You want this kind of response when your body's running from a tiger or a lion, or you're in a dangerous situation. You want the resources to go to your skeletal muscles so you can get out of trouble and out of danger. But the thing is, if we're always on, okay, we're always turned on, your resources are going toward that all of the time, which makes it really hard to communicate, to connect, and we kind of curl up into a ball and we don't want to talk to other people. We have mood issues. And so that takes away your capacity and your capacity to do other things. So what I'm trying to tell people is that your body doesn't know the difference between running from a tiger and getting a stressful email notification. And so with all the things coming at us, we're constantly on. When we want intentional stress, meaning we're trying to create stress in our muscles to create gains, or in sports performance, we're trying to increase our performance under pressure, or we're trying to learn something new, that's creating intentional stress. But that intentional stress is great as long as it's followed by a period of recovery. And the problem is we're missing the period of recovery and calm. And so if our body thinks it's being chased by a tiger every minute of the day, we're burning through resources and all it can focus on is trying to fulfill those basic physiological needs. So I hope this sheds some more light on just why it's important to not wind down with blue light shining in your eyes, why it's important that horizontal scrolling is not necessarily rest, why it's important to just pay attention to how you feel. Are you telling yourself stories that are keeping your body in a stressful state? So hopefully you understand this and it sheds a little light that you can just notice when this is happening. Take a deep breath and reset. Maybe go back to the reel that I did on the triple A's: awareness, agency, action, because you have the ability to choose differently. You have the ability to switch off the stress response in your body and give your body a chance to recover and make gains instead of just this constant drive. So imagine if you were doing HIIT training, but instead of 30 seconds or 15 seconds of the hardest sprint in the world, followed by a recovery, you got no recovery. We just said sprint the whole time, right? Wouldn't be fun, wouldn't be doable. So what I want you to think about, am I giving myself any of these periods of rest and recovery where I can then enjoy the gains? So this can be as simple as a deep breath. This can be as simple as reframing a thought. Look, acknowledge what you're feeling. Acknowledge it. Don't ignore it. Don't bury it. Acknowledge it. Pause. Understand you have the awareness and the agency to change it. Pick a different action. Pick a different choice. Could it be that simple? It sounds so simple, right? But we're not necessarily doing it. So hopefully that makes sense and sheds a little bit of light. I hope that you all are doing well. I just had this on my mind today as I'm writing a speech for Montverde Academy coming up and trying to explain to the kids why They feel like they're under so much pressure, right? Because everything is seen and evaluated and judged. And then they're judging themselves when they feel a certain way. So it's like, I'm tired. I'm never going to be able to do this. I don't have the stamina. I'm not good enough. And then they start to compare to others on social media. And this is what I'm saying is causing us to be constantly on, switched on constantly. There's so many inputs coming at us, and we are completely focused on the outputs that we're delivering. But we have to back up and go back to the things that allow us to produce output, which is building capacity. All of what I'm talking about is draining capacity. So I hope this kind of sheds some light as to what may be happening, what we mean by a constant fight or flight, hair on fire, hold on for dear life kind of feeling in our lives, and why notifications and all the inputs that we have can make us feel that way constantly. So let me know how that resonates. Take care.